All right, we're talking about some of the changes that Golf Clash is going to make to the game, or is proposing. I'm not sure, they haven't made the changes yet, but they've been announcing that they're going to make some changes. So one of the changes, the golf bag perk is going to have improvements so that when you actually see what hole you're playing, you can make a change to the bag. So you can have one bag set up with a quarterback, one bag set up with a extra mile. If you're in the lower brackets, if you're in the higher brackets, you can have that one where you've got your Thor's hammer, so you've got some backspin, or you've got your apocalypse, and then you've got your extra mile or your rock or one of the other clubs, so that, you know, depending on the hole you're playing, you'll be able to change that up just like the ball. That's definitely going to be an improvement, because the original way it was kind of a useless tool. So this actually gives it some value. Balancing improvements coming. So they've been talking about the clubs. So when you dust off, or time to dust off your old clubs with the first look at the upcoming update. We've listened to your feedback and we agree that some clubs are too powerful while others are lacking the stats to compete. So we're making some minor tweaks to help even the odds. More information will be announced soon, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled. Happy swinging, Golf Clash team. One of the things I like about Golf Clash is they haven't broke the game. A lot of times after the end of a year, a lot of these app type games will take everybody's, year and a half. They'll get to a certain number. The goal up to that point's been level 30, or to get this right here, and then they make a tweak to the game because they find the people that are at the top that are spending the most amount of money have ran out of things to spend money on. So they make some tweaks, and Golf Clash hasn't broken the game as far as their clubs, where we have, you've got to work for your clubs. You got to go out and win matches, and you've got to do stuff in order to upgrade your club. So I'm curious to see what the changes are going to be. So there are some clubs, some of the epic clubs especially, you have to work really hard to get those epic clubs up, and they're not, they're really not that good at clubs. And there's, on every scale. So if we take drivers, pretty much every driver's got a spot once it gets to its level. Especially some of them, the commons, when they get up to 8, 9, and 10, they become really good. The hammerhead's always one of those ones. You work really hard. The hammerhead kind of matches up with the sniper. So, if you look at the numbers, they're not that far off. Distance is the same. Accuracy's pretty close. Top spin. The sniper at this level has a little more backspin and a little more curl and a little better ball guide. When the hammerhead gets to level 7, it's just slightly. And the numbers, like one number on one side might be better, but it's just slightly better than the sniper. And for as hard as it is to get the hammerhead, it would be nice to have a club that's a little bit better. But where they've got these clubs up here, these epics, some of the lower level cards are pretty close. So I don't know if they're planning on lowering some of the cards, or if they're planning on raising some of the cards at the top. For those guys that have all their clubs maxed out, it's really not going to matter. But for people who don't have their clubs maxed out, it's definitely going to change. I hope that they don't break it. A lot of the way that the brackets work, people have to understand the way the brackets work is, like, I only play against people that have clubs in the same range as me, and I'm sure that when you're playing, it's the same thing. And a lot of times it's not the club that you brought, it's the ball. These clubs will only do so much, but you can bring a ball that's got more power, or got more drops down the wind, or has more curl, or has, if you play the hole, so to change the clubs drastically could break the game. It could make all the established players, we'll have to see how that one goes. Another thing that's been talked about, when Golf Clash first started, it actually had a forum, a real forum, not the Facebook forum, for about the first year. And one of the things that was brought up there was, what do we do with the extra cards? So I got this extra mile maxed out, and I've accumulated some extra cards for this club. There's nothing to use them on. At the time, a year ago, it was proposed that we would use those extra clubs to be able to go to a store and be able to buy balls or trade them for balls. And at that time, there was only, the 7 that you can buy. There wasn't a whole lot of extra balls. There was a Berserker and there was a few extra balls, but I really wasn't interested in changing or trading club cards, which I work really hard to get, for Kingmakers. There's other ways to get Kingmakers, but if I could go to a store and a Berserker had a value, and then club cards also had a corresponding value. So like taking the drivers, obviously an Apocalypse is going to be worth more than a Rocket. Excuse me. A Thor's Hammer is going to be worth more than an Extra Mile, because they're epic cards. So, having some value that you could do to trade them in. From Playdemic's perspective, I doubt that they would want to do that, because that means that for a period of time while people were adjusting that, they would actually have less sales, because it's going to drop people aren't going to need to buy as many balls because they can go in and they can get special ones. So I'm not sure if that change, that's where that would lead. The other thing that I really would like to see happen is that, at max upgrade, so let's take a level 7. So here we're trying to get 400 cards in order to max this club out. Once I get it maxed out, then I'll start to accumulate more cards for it. It would be nice if when I got to 400 again, I could get 5 points to put wherever I want. So, on this particular club, when the Guardian gets maxed out, I would put the 5 points. I'd probably bump up its top spin. And I would bump up its top spin. I would try and max that card out as many times as I could to try and get those 5 points. It's going to take me a while to get 400 cards for it. So it's you can gradually, the longer you play the game, you're going to have better and better clubs, because you're going to be playing and winning and maxing them out. That would be a great way to use those cards. I mean, in my opinion, I work really hard to get club cards. And so I want to, if I spend them, I want to make sure I'm spending them on something that upgrades the club. That was my point back on the old forum. So we'll see what they do with that. Let's talk about some other changes, just general things. Clans. Man, there's so much they can do with clans, but I think fundamentally the deal is that right now it's all geared towards max trophy players. So you're going to get a clan that's going to try and recruit other top players, top masters, because you want to get points. It's not about everybody in your team. All 50 players have to be masters, so that you can try and be that top team in Golf Clash. So if the structure's set up for everybody to try and reach that top team where they're recruiting, then all of these other clans are you're going to find clans that are working their way up to try and get to max trophies. And you're going to find clans that are, like our clan has a lot of rookies in it, a lot of beginning players, probably like a lot of these other clans down here. And we're going to get relegated because of the max trophy thing. We're going to end up staying in our league. We're at 66. We came in second last week and in the bracket that we were in, but we're going to eventually we scored about, I guess it was probably about 5,000 points, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe a little bit more. But the people that are at the top right now, we're never going to reach that level just if we're playing rookie. So if we have a bunch of rookies in our league and we're just trying to focus on the rookie division and we're trying to do really well in the tournaments in the rookie division, we're not going to we're going to end up getting into one of these brackets. And this is probably the level where now the clan structure for this whole winning things is off the table for us, because we're always going to be in this middle bracket. We're never going to get relegated. We're never going to get bumped forward, so we're never going to have a shot at winning from week to week. So it would be nice if they worked out some kind of math on their end, some kind of algorithm, so that the clans got structured, got put together with like clans. So, once they get a baseline for each one of these clans, they can maybe bracket us up so that we have an opportunity to win, and maybe not necessarily to get promoted, but some way for us to every time to play to win, just like everybody else. Every single person in our bracket is in a very similar situation. They've all scored about exactly the same amount of points, or really, within that number, 100 or 500 points, or however tight they can make the bracket based on how many people they have playing. And everybody knows that, hey, it's not about going from Pro 1 to Pro 2 or Pro 2 to Pro 3. We've kind of reached our max at the pro level, so we've been bumped off to the side, and we play pro against other pros. So that makes every month that there's a huge competition amongst them. And it'd be nice if we could challenge, you could challenge somebody, you could challenge another clan, and possibly at the end, we came in second and we didn't get anything. As a team, we worked pretty hard to get a second place. We rolled through a lot of players that weren't being active, that weren't playing at all, and we're trying to get people that want to play tournaments. That's the whole deal. I want to see every person in the clan that I'm in, all 50 players, playing in tournaments and making the weekend round. So that's where our really big points are, is in the tournaments. So it would just be nice if they would do something to promote every clan in the game that are playing at whatever level they're playing at. Because by doing that, they're going to inspire a lot of people who aren't big spenders, who, they get to the point where they're like, hey, in order to continue to play, I'm going to have to, either play more or spend more in order to be able to compete, have balls, and have the stuff that I need with the guys that are playing in Tour 9, 10, 11, and 12, versus guys that just want to get on and play, or players, that want to just get on and play, and are playing in Tour 6 and below, and playing in the rookie tournaments. You can have a lot of fun. You have to be very precise when you're doing this stuff. So at every level, and whatever level you get to, you're going to be playing against competition that has the same stuff as you. So if you've got underdeveloped clubs and you're still working your way up, then you're going to be playing against most likely people that have that same stuff. If you're really good and you're playing with the same lower level clubs, everybody talks about, oh, you got to have those big clubs. You can start a new account if you've been playing for a long time, and in a very short period of time get those clubs up to where they're pretty decent clubs, just because we're never trying to hit into the rough or the sand. We're just hitting in the fairway. But having some way within these clans to be able to, get into a bracket and be able to be competitive every month, as opposed to being just relegated to the middle. And it's not just my clan. I mean, there's a lot of clans that are going to be in that relegated to the middle. These guys up here at the top are obviously trying to work their way up. These guys are probably playing in higher tours. Let's see what they are. So we got Masters here. We got guys that play in the Master tournament. Whereas we're not going to have guys playing in the Masters tournament. We're going to end up here, just like Toronto Eagles and Top Gunners and all of these other clans. So instead of leaving such a big portion of the clans behind, Playdemic really could incorporate it so that everybody has a vested interest at whatever level they're playing. That'd be a great thing to do here. But being able to play amongst the clan and have a clan tournament, or being able to come up here and challenge, like if we were in fourth place, challenge the person above or below us, and we could put some points on the table. Well, I suppose that would be gambling. well, there could be set points that it takes to buy into the tournament. So you could play each other and try and, maybe it takes 2,000 points to buy a tournament with another clan, or there's so much stuff they could do with these clans. But my fear right now is that they're actually getting to a point where it's just going to be a dead end, except for the people that are playing towards max trophies. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. This is a really cool game, so there's just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do at every level. Maybe you find that clan that really just plays pro. They play from the pro tees, and all 50 members play from the pro tees, and they want to play in the pro bracket. They're not trying to do the max trophies, but they have in their clan setup, they can end up playing in just pro. And so they're playing against other people that are pro, and so every week, every month, you have that opportunity to really go for that banner. And then the people that are in those winning teams, they really should get something. They should get a chest. They just won a tourney, basically. So everybody in that clan should win a chest. And in all fairness, if they come out and they say, hey, the top 3 are going to win a chest, anybody who's already been a top 3 should get a chest. For all the banners that you have. So like the other clan up there had 2 banners. They came in second twice. If they make that change, those guys, everybody in that was on those teams should get two chests. So that's there is really a ton of stuff they can do with the clans to really change how the game works. I'm just hoping that they don't break the club thing by making changes to the clubs. Some other stuff. I would really like it if we'd quit seeing the other person's flag on the green. So we should never have an obstruction that's the other person's. If we were playing real golf and somebody landed on the green like that and you're far away, that ball's not in your view, and then from that point on we're all marking our ball, so I don't need to see their stuff. That is a big change. And I think that's, for me, I'm sure that there are other ones that I encounter when I'm going along. Sometimes the game pops up where you come into the game, and I came in here and I picked a katana. I said, okay, I want to play a katana. And then when the game starts up, the screen pops up asking you what ball you want to pick. And I would prefer that did not ever happen. I've played enough. I think most people, if they see they got the wrong ball, they'll change it. But I don't know that I have that many other. I really don't have a lot of bitches about the game. I enjoy playing Golf Clash, and I have liked the fact that they've kind of not made changes so that everybody can get established. But we will see. All right, that was a little bit about some of the changes that Golf Clash is making. I know Tommy, I watched the Tommy videos, and he talked about the changes and kind of asked the community to put some stuff out. So I'm putting some stuff out. And I encourage all of you to, if you're watching my videos, so the base for my stuff is I watch Tommy Jones, or I watch Tommy and Zachary Jones. And I because Zachary uses the ring method, and I try and play a lot of my game kind of like how Zachary plays. I try and play pretty aggressive, but I try and play pretty smart. But I learn a lot of stuff from Tommy, and the deal is that they are really focused on masters and experts. I mean, that's their skill set. That's where they've got clubs for. They play up there. They've got the bankroll to play forever. And so that's the spot that they're really focused on. I, on the other hand, have just played a rookie, so I'm playing in brackets that are really tight, and I like it right here. I can play whenever I'd like. You don't have to have that big of a bankroll in order to play in rookie. You can be competitive, spend a little bit of cash, but it's a manageable number. You're spending money to make the deal. So hopefully Playdemic will not leave us behind. Thanks for watching.